Take two. Niggas forgot to turn the metronome off a minute ago. Let's arrange this shit while this intro is going off. Shit arranged. Alright. Let's get ready. Alright, man, this might be a short one today because we only really got one thing to talk about. I think the statute of limitations is up and that we can go ahead on and tell the truth about the movie Us. Right? Mm-hmm. Alright, let's give a little history lesson. Well, not a little history. Let's do a little walk down like memory lane or whatever. We all went to see Get Out when it came out in early 2017, right?
And was in love with the movie.
Right. And we all
to the point that movie had me scared to even look at some white women, bro. I was out. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I was scared.
Nigga, I believe you. Then we hold on, and let alone that we see it, nigga. We seen it multiple times. I've seen that shit 4 or 5 times in the theater. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen the movie outside of the movie theater. Every time that I saw it, it was in the theater, right?
I've seen the movie in the movie theater. I've seen it on the computer. I've seen it on Netflix.
It's on Netflix?
I think it was on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
Out. Shit.
I think it was on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
Netflix, I'm gonna watch that shit while I clean this fucking place
I've
up.
seen that movie a lot. Like, I done found that movie on the internet so many times, and it's crazy.
So we watched that, let alone that movie was fucking great, bro.
Yeah, that movie was great. That movie was actually pretty fucking good. Like, it had good... Is it?
It ain't on there.
Okay.
Fuck. But it was great, and let alone, it was a movie that lent itself to multiple watches because upon watching it 2 to 3 times, you pick up on stuff in the movie that you didn't see or get during the first viewing when you were just seeing it to see how the plot went, right? So this movie right here, Get Out, basically turned Jordan Peele into like a most wanted type of director and a fan favorite type of director. He won an Oscar for that movie, dog. Mm-hmm. Won an Oscar for the script, the best screenplay Oscar for Get Out. So, needless to say, everybody was anticipating what he was going to do next. I'm still anticipating the Candyman movie that he's producing. He ain't directing it, but he picked the director. And this is not something that we out here attempting to just shit all over Jordan Peele with, right? This is just about the movie Us. So, let's just get back to it. Everybody is anticipating what Jordan Peele is going to do next. And then the trailer for Us comes out, bruh. Let's just start from the beginning. When you saw the trailer for Us, what was your first impressions? Just from the trailer.
What, from Us?
Yeah.
Bro, I thought this movie was going to be the shit.
Yeah.
Like, when I thought this movie was going to be so fucking crazy. Like, with the, like, I'm thinking it's going to be like some supernatural, crazy type stuff. Like, I'm thinking I'm about to get myself into some real life. I'm about to be like, yo, this shit crazy. Like, and don't get me wrong. I can't even say that. Everything I thought about this movie from the trailer was not what it was.
Right.
So right. I can't even say what I was about to say.
Right. So my first impression from the trailer for the movie Us was pretty much just like yours. Like it was instant. Like, oh no. Anyway, it was instant. Like,
I gotta
damn,
see
when this come out, I gotta be in there. That's like, I think I sent you a text when the trailer first came out. about the movie, right? But it was from that to saying, oh, this is Jordan Peele. Shit, remember what he did with Get Out? Nigga made a statement with Get Out. Let alone, it wasn't just a statement. It was also just a great movie.
Yeah.
What is he going to put into this one? What kind of... It ain't like I wasn't looking at it saying he had to make another political statement like he did with Get Out, right? I was just looking at it as like, what type of scary and thrilling situations is he gonna put into this movie, bro? Like, what kind of...
And that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking with, like, the because once they start putting it out more, that it was like the family was the exact same people and shit like that. I'm like, yo,
yeah, that's the intriguing part.
I'm like,
where did this other family come from?
Like,
yeah. That's
what got
my
me.
mind was. And then the thing that every fucking body, I know everybody who watched the trailer was really like on this part. The guy that in the trench coat guy that was standing on the beach with his arms stretched out. We like, yo, what the fuck? I'm thinking, my nigga, the first thing I thought when I saw that, I'm thinking, yo, this right here is the mastermind. This right here is the guy controlling the demon family. Right?
Yeah.
This is some super... I went straight to this is something supernatural, and I was there for that.
Yeah.
All right. So, let me just say right now that us, when it come down to how, at least through my amateur eyes, how a movie is made, just off the straight mechanics part of how a movie is made, like the cinematography or how it's shot and the audio and how the soundtrack was used and all of that, it's well made from all of those aspects.
Yeah. So, hold on, wait. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
In no way, shape, or form is this like a badly made movie.
Badly made movie, yeah.
This movie is like it was made excellent. Like as far as like the way they shot it and the soundtrack, like you said, it's shot perfectly.
That's another thing from the trailer though, like the soundtrack, how they flipped the "I Got Five" on it. They're trying to make it into a horror thing, even though. Let me just be for real, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the fucking minority here, but the actual theme of the movie, the part that plays when they showing the rabbits in all the cages,
oh yeah,
shit is way better than the "I Got Five" on it horror version, bro. To me, like, so I'm gonna say what I'm about to say about this movie, right?
You talking about the anthem?
Yeah. That shit is fucking great, my nigga. I'm gonna say this movie. I'm gonna say what I'm about to say about this movie, not because I think people are stupid or people are idiots or anything for doing this. I was about to be guilty of this shit myself, right? Mm-hmm. I was about to be guilty of this shit myself until I pulled back and said, "That's not my job." My nigga, this movie is a fucking terrible movie. This full of plot holes. And fans of the movie were trying to fill the plot holes in for the people who made the movie and just fucked everything up. Cause I'm not saying that people is fucking stupid for doing that, nigga. I was about to do it. The first thing I said when this movie ended, bruh, was, nigga, the first thing we said, nigga, the first time we went to see this movie, we went to see it.
Yeah.
The first thing we said was what? Now we gotta see it again.
Yeah. I had to watch this movie again because I'm like, because the very first time I saw it, I'm like, bro, this shit's fire, nigga. Like, I done watched this shit, bro. Ain't no telling what I done missed.
Hell yeah.
So, I go back and I watch this movie for a second fucking
Hold
time.
on. Let's work our way to that. Let's work
Okay,
our way
all
to
right.
that.
So you want to talk about the first viewing of this movie?
Yeah. Let's work our way to that. So the
first viewing. Well, for me, I'm gonna go into what was going on with me when I first watched.
Yeah. So
right?
but like back to what we were saying before we get into the ins and outs of why this episode came to be. Again, a reminder, the thing that we said our first upon this movie ending was we gotta see it again.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So, for my first time seeing this, right? So we went or whatever, and I'm liking everything from like the young part where she was young in the movie. I'm liking all of it. The what was it? Was it Jeremiah?
Yeah, the Jeremiah Bible verse.
Yep, the Jeremiah Bible verse. I'm liking seeing that right there. So I'm like, all right, this got some secret meaning. I'm in the movies Googling this stuff, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of the stuff, and I'm looking, and I see her I see the shirt she got on. I'm like looking at everything. Like I'm trying to analyze the Michael Jackson Thriller shirt. I'm analyzing every single thing I can possibly analyze because I watched Get Out multiple times, and I seen him throw stuff in there that I ain't noticed, right?
Right.
So I'm watching, and she wanders off, and I see the candy apple drop, and I'm thinking that's something that's got to do with it. Like, bro, I'm tripping in the movie. So, I'm watching everything, and blah. And I'm going to just cut to the end.
Right.
How I felt about it at the end. So at the end of the movie, I'm like, damn, that shit was good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that was a good ass movie, bro. But I done missed some shit. Something ain't clicking right. Like I done seen it, but I ain't got everything. Like I'm missing something.
Exactly.
I'm missing something. Did I miss how the fuck these people came about? Was I not listening? Did I miss where they got a fucking wholesale supply of red overalls and fucking gloves? Did I miss the fucking sale on millions of Birkenstocks?
Nigga, I'm out there like
Did I miss the fucking golden scissored Home Depot sale, my nigga? Like
I'm out there like nigga. I'm out there thinking, oh, what does the color red mean? Why are they in red?
No, I figured that out. I figured out why they was wearing red.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't saying I never figured it out. I'm saying that the whole time I'm watching this movie, all I'm sitting up there doing is looking at it like a meaning for everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I go see it a second time.
Hold on, let me.
Oh, you go.
Let me go.
All right.
Let me work through this shit. Let us work through it without rushing. Like the first time I watched it, my mind was already on connection mode.
Yeah, you was trying to connect it to Get Out.
Not just that. That didn't start at the beginning. Like connecting it to Get Out didn't come until it didn't come into the part where they said that the underground people, the tethered people,
mm-hmm.
were made by like a government fucking experiment,
mm-hmm.
and they were a failed government experiment that they abandoned. So I was like, what if the shit that happened in Get Out was like the perfected version of what they were trying to do in Us?
Mm-hmm.
That was my like initial thought, without giving the plot too much thought. It was just like before we knew all of what the tethered shit was about, right? That's what I thought.
So you thought the Armitage family from Get Out was like the startup people for this.
No, I thought that like the Armitage family from Get Out could have been like some people that were a part of the Us shit.
Yeah.
And then that they
branched off
and they took whatever lessons they learned from whatever happened in Us, and they applied it to Get Out.
So you say Us happened first, then Get Out?
I'm saying that I ain't saying this shit now. Like, I was thinking, my train of thought along the lines was that the events that created the tethered people happened before the mind swapping shit that they were doing in Get Out.
See, this is another reason why this movie is dog shit to me.
Yeah.
If you think about this shit too long,
Mm-hmm.
it fucking falls. It crumbles into your fucking hand like a fucking piece of dry cake, my nigga. Like this movie fucking sucks. Cause if you even think about it enough, you like, what the fuck did I just watch?
And that's the prompt. That's what prompted this fucking episode. I was talking to somebody immediately after this shit came out. And it was after my second viewing, because my second viewing was at the crib, my nigga, like with the motherfucking grainy Chinese footage, like
exactly what I wish I would have fucking used. Not to mention Get Out.
Yeah,
I wasted $38 fucking buying tickets for this movie and didn't even go see it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was the time you were trying to go see it the second time.
That was my original second time. So that should have been my cue to say, fuck this movie. You don't want to see that, because you spent $38 fucking and you didn't see it. So you spent another $22 to go see that shit again the next day. The fuck is wrong with me? all because I'm up here like, I done missed something. I need to see that. That shit was like some crack, nigga. That shit got me, and I was up there itching for that. I was fiending for that second viewing, nigga. I was like, yo, I need that. I need that, brother. You got that second viewing of Us, my nigga?
I'm watching this shit. I'm talking about that. I'm talking to somebody about it, and she telling me all type of motherfucking plot points that won't in the movie. Like she filling in holes that the fucking writers should have been filling in when they was writing this shit.
So give me, spoiler alert, give me a few of them. You talk about what she was trying to fill in.
That's what we about to get to. Cause my second viewing can be summed up quickly.
Yeah.
My second viewing was, after I finished, I didn't miss shit.
I didn't miss a fucking thing.
That's what the end of my second viewing was. I was like, I went through it, I watched it all, and the second viewing was, I didn't miss shit.
Not to mention, this fucking movie had a lot of scenes that could have been fucking, it didn't make sense. So spoiler alert. If you haven't seen this movie.
Haven't seen the movie, don't. Nigga, we seen this.
If you haven't seen the movie.
$400 and something million worth of motherfuckers saw it.
Alright, so you know the white family in the movie, right?
Yeah. Tim and Eric.
Mm-hmm. You know when
Hold on. Let me just say one thing.
Alright.
Get into it. My nigga, I hate to say this. I don't give a fuck. Winston Duke was fucking terrible, and his acting was so dog shit in this movie as the dad.
Hold on.
Shit was
let me talk about that for a second, right? Why the fuck they got this nigga? This nigga's like fucking 6'8", 287 pounds, and they got this nigga playing a bitch in the movie.
Yeah, being timid as fuck. Nigga, he was garbage in this shit. He won't even.
I would have rather have my man fucking Daniel Kaluuya playing the fucking dad.
Daniel Kaluuya didn't need to fucking taint his image with this movie. He already tainted it with fucking Black Mirror and that dog shit show.
But I'm just saying, his fucking like everybody's acting was pretty good in the movie.
Except him.
Except him. Like, I just want to know who the fuck decided they was gonna write him this fucking like. Is it bad? I wanted to see him die in this movie because he was just so. He was a bitch made nigga in this movie.
Not even that. Not even how he was written was just as bad to me as how he was fucking portraying the writing, my nigga. He was like, I guess that shit go hand in hand, but his acting was so fucking corny. His shit was so corny, my nigga. His shit
like for instance, the fucking scene where the family's in the driveway.
You talking about when he confronted them, the police are on their way. You talking about that?
Yeah, like
get the fuck out of here, man. Nigga was trying to. That shit so.
You want to get crazy? We can get crazy.
No, the fuck, no, niggas. We don't do that. We don't do that.
If anything, motherfucker, I'm out
nigga,
there
let me tell you how that's. Let's tell you how that sounds. That scene should have sounded.
All right.
It should have sounded like this right here. If it was a real ass fucking black father protecting his family, it's like well, how he started it off was fine. Yo, can I help y'all? They don't say nothing. Excuse me, I'm talking to you. Can I help y'all? Y'all need anything? They don't say something. Look, man. I ain't gonna tell your ass but one more motherfucking time. Do you need anything? Cause if you don't, you need to get the fuck on up out my yard. Oh yeah? You ain't gonna say nothing? Be there when I come the fuck back. Be out there when I come back. That's how that shit.
Now, with that acting right there, right? And he go back in the door, right?
Yeah.
And he talking to his family. And he's scared as fuck, right? But that's how they should have played it off. I could see if he was like acting like he looks in the movie. He's not, bro. Winston Duke looks pretty fucking menacing if you look at him.
Nigga, Winston Duke was menacing. He was the only person in Black Panther fighting with sticks. Nigga, everybody else had some vibranium and shit. And nigga, everybody else had fucking blankets that turned into shields. Niggas had rhinoceroses, rhinoceri or whatever. That nigga was like, ho-ha! Ho-ha! That niggas had on fucking, niggas had on loincloth and fucking fox furs. Niggas was in wooden poles. And they was out there fighting against the fucking Thanos army. Winston Duke was the leader of that just not even fucking a year ago. Nigga, just a little bit more than a year ago. How the fuck do you put the motherfucker ho-ha? Nigga, out here talking about I just called the police and they're on their way. Nigga, no, man. What y'all doing to that man?
But they could have fucking fixed that shit, bro. They could have had him act like what you was just saying. He go back in the house and they could have played it where he was scared, like to his family. Look.
I talked to them niggas and them niggas ain't trying to leave. I don't know what we gonna do, but shit, I think I scared them niggas a little bit.
That's what I'm
saying.
And
so
that plays it.
Go down 911, and I'm gonna go out there and install them motherfuckers some more. I'm gonna try to hold them niggas off until the police get here, but I'm not gonna let them niggas know I'm scared. Goddamn, I ain't gonna let them niggas know I'm scared. I'm gonna get them niggas the fuck on up out of here, one way or the other.
And that shit would have played in with the fucking Key and Peele comedy shit, like. So, and what I'm trying to say is, fucking Rod in fucking Get Out, right?
Yeah.
Why wasn't Winston Duke the funny, serious nigga in the movie like that?
Yeah.
They could have easily, and then the second time when he went out with the bat, he could have been. How you think he would have did it with the bat? He go outside with the bat.
Yeah. I told you motherfuckers if you was still here when I came back out here, that shit was gonna go left, nigga. Where the police at? Shit, nigga. I handles mine. I motherfucking handles mine. So if y'all niggas got something to say, now's the time to say it, or we can really just get fucking busy.
All right.
What's up? Where the cops?
Now, this the scene. She do the little finger shit, right? And the motherfucking nigga run off, and they all run off, and the goddamn big nigga start walking towards him. What he say?
Go back in the shit. Go back in the house, slam the door, lock the shit. Don't lock all the shit. Them niggas called my bluff. Lock the shit. Get under the bed. Get in the closet. Go in the attic or something, and don't come out until you hear sirens. We done went left.
But like I'm saying, they fucked Winston Duke with that script.
They had him out there portraying, bruh, he was a big black dude portraying a frail white man.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. He portrayed what I would think the nigga Doctor Strange would play. What's his name?
Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch be playing like fucking detectives and shit and other shit. He like Sherlock Holmes. He plays Sherlock Holmes.
I would think if
nigga,
he
you
was
would think
in that
the
movie,
fucking the dude who Lester Nygaard's ass would be playing. Lester, you know who Lester Nygaard? He the other guy from the White Shield agent from Black Panther that they got shot all in the back and shit, and they healed him. They took his ass to
yeah.
They took him to
yeah. That's what I think he.
Lester Nygaard.
He was the Lester Nygaard.
Nigga is Martin Freeman. That's his real name. But if y'all don't know Lester Nygaard, nigga, just go watch the first season of the Fargo TV show. Do yourself that favor.
And then again, another scene that didn't fucking even go in that fucking movie was, after they killed the Tim and Eric family, and everybody in there dead and shit, and they just sitting in there watching the news.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that scene just didn't make sense. Like, they're all acting like this is some normal fucking event. Like they're acting like this shit just happens all the time. Like, they sitting in there, fucking at the table, fucking drinking orange juice and shit, watching the news.
Yeah, that shit, the way that they acted after the fucking event popped off is another problem I had with the movie.
They acting like this shit is completely normal.
I'm not chilling in the house. I'm fucking off. I'm leaving. Now, let's get to the parts of this movie that made no fucking sense. Most of my problem with this movie, besides the way that Winston Duke was portrayed, was the explanation behind this tethered shit, man.
What, like how they came about?
Not how they came about, how they operate.
All right,
this is plot holes. This is plot holes that I heard not only people that I talked to in person, not only people that was reviewing the movie in comment section of YouTube videos, but just flat out people like YouTube people who reviewed the movie like as soon as it came out. Like, and my man's Found Flicks, he really just said it. Like, I waited for Found Flicks to do his shit.
I also watched him too.
I watched this shit and I was like, I said I done seen this shit twice and I can't pick up on. I can't dissect nothing. Maybe I'm fucked up. Let me see what Found Flicks say. Found Flicks didn't do a review immediately. He did this shit like a week later, nigga. He sifted through this shit.
Mm-hmm.
He said, man, this shit ain't got nothing. It ain't. His shit is called Ending Explained. That's what his shit is called. He said it ain't shit to explain. He had little hints in the movie like the Chud videotape at the beginning.
And then it was another movie about like a person who lived as two people in the same movie. It was like some weird shit,
The other symbol that just was stupid was the rabbits. The only thing the rabbits was food for these niggas, man.
And they tried to say like the rabbits symbolize the multiplying of
Yeah, I saw
like
that.
the reproduction and shit.
Yeah, but that was just, to me, that was just fucking fans putting in plot where plot wasn't at. Nigga, the only thing the rabbits represented was what the fucking tethered underground people used to eat. Nigga, they used to eat raw rabbits.
And another thing about that fucked up movie. So, that fucking lake house, right, was their grandma's old house that they went to sometimes.
Right.
So, on the other side of town, where they fucking live, in their other house, is the tethered like under the fucking under the outside mulch?
Look,
fucking roaming around and like fucking driving in the
you
like,
get it right. You
fucking,
get it right.
So
where
like
I was
this
going.
is something else. Like, all right, you know how she goes down into the shit
let's start
and it's a fucking room. Like,
let's start at the beginning. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They tried to explain that away at the beginning of the movie. If you remember the words, it said that.
Yeah,
There's millions of miles of tunnels under the United States, right?
Yeah.
So, my nigga, the thing with the tethered is that the tethered were created to be puppets to control the population that live above ground, but it failed, right? But it's plain to see that the failure of the tethered was that instead of them being able to control the underground version, instead of the underground version being able to control the real world people actually controlled the underground version. It worked in reverse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big ass fucking plot hole number one. Spoiler alert. Red, that's her name in the movie, Lupita Nyong'o's fucking character, the person on the fucking, the character on the poster, the orchestrator of the whole tethered uprising.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, she's the real Adelaide. So if the experiment failed and every other above ground person controlled their tethered, how did the fucking real Adelaide end up being controlled by the one that took her place? How just because the real Adelaide got put down, she was born as the original version, but the explanation of how the tethered works was that the real Adelaide, who was red, because as a child the tethered version of her kidnapped her and locked her up under that fun house at the fucking carnival. Right?
So that's another
Hold
thing.
on, let me finish. How all of a sudden, when her explanation was that when Adelaide was finding her love, she got forced to find the tethered Winston dude. When Adelaide was having the real version of the children, she was forced to push out the monstrous tethered version of the children. But she wasn't a fucking tethered. She was the real version. So how was she being controlled? When they showed at the end of the movie, Adelaide was doing the ballerina dance, and Red, who was the real Adelaide, was under there doing the ballerina dance, a primitive looking version of it, because she didn't get the training. How was she being controlled? How didn't she just fuck off out of there? Because she wasn't a tethered.
How did the fucking fake version of her know to fucking come up there and choke her out in that fucking dark tunnel room?
Exactly.
But like, that's another, like, how the fuck did the fake version know to go up the stairs, make a left at the locker room, fucking walk, make a right, go up the stairs, open up the latch trap, and fucking choke this motherfucker out? How was she strong enough to drag her down? And how did she not bang her head across all of the fucking steps that's down? What fucking contractors put the escalators and the nice pretty lights and the fucking
that was the government,
tables?
because remember, these places are government facilities. So we can suspend some disbelief on that part, because this is a government facility. So the government built this shit.
Okay, so the government built it.
Yeah. So
and they just left all these motherfuckers down there.
When that shit didn't work,
with a million rabbits.
Yeah, and look, like, because her explanation is why it failed is because they split the body, but they couldn't split the soul. So the tethered was tethered to the above ground person by the soul, and I guess since the original person is the one born with the soul, they get to control shit. But Adelaide, the fake Adelaide, was controlling the tethered version of her. Was controlling Red, but Red was not the fake Adelaide was controlling Red as a tethered, but the one who was lived above ground and lived the normal life was the actual tethered.
Yeah, like this shit. If you think about it for too long, the shit falls apart.
Nigga, that shit right there fell apart for me immediately after the next fucking the immediately after I saw it the second time is when I start asking all these questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, but that don't make no sense. And then motherfuckers start slamming me with the damn, maybe the weaker or whatever, maybe the further away from each other you are, the weaker the connection is. Another thing, how would you saw how, well, I guess that's kind of explained in the movie, right? Because I was about to say how when somebody is driving across town in a car is the damn tethered keeping up with them. Mm-hmm. But that's explained in the movie because when you see them mimicking the roller coaster, they really just standing in place mimicking it. So I gotta be fair where it's fair. That was explained in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of the main theories, one of the main problems, and then the other main problem I had is that tethered control shit only worked when it was convenient for the plot. Let alone, it don't make no sense how Red was ever controlled by Adelaide because Red was the real Adelaide. It don't make no sense how she was ever controlled because she was the real version.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing was not more of a plot point, but a theory that I saw fans trying to come up with and fucking conspiracy movie theorists coming up with was that the boy was a tethered the whole time. That's fucking bullshit. He was not a fucking tethered, my nigga. He couldn't. Why? Tethered. Because they were saying, because he was learning words. Niggas can learn to cuss from watching TV. He wasn't a tethered. The one that was under the ground was a tethered because the boy controlled him
to make him walk in that fire.
Yeah, he was the only time this shit only works when it's convenient for the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You saw the tethered version of Winston Duke. I don't remember his name. Gabe in the movie. I think whatever. Something. You saw the tethered version of him, right?
Yeah.
When they first came in the house, when he went to fix his glasses, the other tethered guy mimicked it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But you see how stupid this movie is? He fixed them. That tethered mimicked it. Winston Duke fixed his glasses. Tethered Winston Duke went to fix glasses that he weren't wearing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like 2 seconds afterwards. But when little boy and tethered little boy were in the closet, when he moved, it mirrored it. It wasn't a delayed reaction. It wasn't a mimic. It was a mirroring.
Mm-hmm.
Does this shit just work for whatever is gonna look the fucking most menacing in the scene? Is that what it is? We can suspend some disbelief to say that Lupita Nyong'o or Red kind of taught them how to not be controlled.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, she was being controlled. So how could she teach somebody how to not be controlled? Like the whole premise that the tethered people are tied to the above ground versions, and they should have been, and their actions are controlled by the real world people, is what fucked this movie. Because none of this shit should have been able to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If what should have been able to happen, technical difficulties. But anyway, what should have been able to happen is that as soon as the fucking uprising started, my nigga, well, no, uprising should have never been able to start because these people shouldn't have never been able to go it against the grain of their above ground counterparts.
Yeah.
Right? You can't teach if these people are tied together by a soul. How can you teach your way out of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. And if they are tied together by a soul and the above ground person being in control is the one who's the owner of the soul, and souls exist in this reality, they believe in spirituality. If you kill the person who possesses the soul, shouldn't the tethered motherfucker just drop dead too?
Exactly.
So shouldn't they just been killing themselves? But anyway, man, go ahead, man.
Honestly, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, because we have some fuck shit happening in this house tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, long story short, this movie has a lot of things in it that don't fucking make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's stupid because I thought this movie was gonna be the shit. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, I thought this movie was going to be so good, and it let me down. Especially after that second watch, it let me down.
So let's go back to the theory that the boy is a tethered and why that don't make sense. Like,
because he fucking controlled him and made him walk in that... He controlled the other boy and made him walk in that fire.
Uh-huh.
And if you want to sit up there and talk about the magic trick and the other dude was down there actually lighting matches,
Mm-hmm.
like... Why would his face be burned up if he was a fucking tethered?
This is the thing, right? If he was the tethered, why, when he realized that his mom was really a tethered, become hesitant towards her?
Mm-hmm. Because
Right?
he was close to her in the movie.
Yeah, so like when he why, if you notice, when they went down there and his mom, the above ground, the real tethered Adelaide,
Mm-hmm.
won the fight against Red,
Mm-hmm.
he was hesitant to go back with her. And then at the end, when they were driving away in the ambulance, he was just staring at her, kind of trying to stay on the far side of the ambulance, like as far away from her as possible.
When
put his mask back on.
And then when she looked at him and smiled, that's when he leaned back on that side and put his mask on, he trying to protect himself from her now.
Yeah, so because she knows, he knows.
He knows.
Yeah, she knows that he knows. Why would he be, if he was a tethered from the whole time? Because the whole theory around him being a tethered is that he was switched out during the previous summer when he so-called fucking disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
For some hours in the house. He was switched out during the previous summer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If he's only been living above ground for a year, he's used to that tethered universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's used to it. He's found out now that he is actually, that his the moms that he was putting, that they thought was the real version. No. Let me go back. Well, he would already know that she was really a tethered, my nigga, because his mom's, the underground Red, the real Adelaide, has been planning this and been teaching people about that. So she would have already had told the family that bitch above ground is the one that's supposed to be down here with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't even had to figure it out. He would have knew. You understand how this, you see, we even finding plot holes now.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, months later. A month later, we let this shit stew for a fucking month, right?
Mm-hmm.
We let this shit stew for a month, right? The movie stinks, my nigga. Like, one if he was a tethered, once he realized she was a tethered, he wouldn't have been scared, but he would have already known she was a tethered if he was really a tethered. He wouldn't have been able to control the tethered boy if he was really a tethered.
Mm-hmm.
Because the experiment failed, so they didn't ever ingrain the controlling point into the tethered people. The tethered people were the ones being controlled throughout the whole rest of the movie, except Adelaide. Because the tethered Adelaide was controlling Red, and it should have been the other way around the whole time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because Red was the one born above ground, so therefore Red was the one born with the fucking soul.
And why? So I don't know. And that's another thing. Like, all right, so if they don't have souls or whatever, how are they able to like feel emotion and feel love and feel like?
Well, in the movie, she pretty much explained that they wasn't no feeling love and shit down there.
Mm-hmm.
They were just tied to having to be forced into doing whatever.
So the fake Adelaide fucking gained the ability to
right. Hold on. You saying how did the fake Adelaide, if she was the one born with no soul, how did she feel the emotions and love and shit?
Yeah, like how did she fucking like?
Yeah, cause you right, cause you picking up on shit right now. You picking up on shit. You right, because the only thing they portrayed her as being is fucking antisocial.
Yeah, she did, cause they said she didn't like to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately after her saying she don't like to talk, she goes into a fit because she thinks she's lost the boy.
Right.
And that's a symbol of love. Mm-hmm. And they show her and when she's talking to Winston Duke in the room, they show her as a feeling of being scared.
Mm-hmm.
Because she in there talking to him and she's scared of what may happen. When she fucking going in there and fucking when she murdered the white woman,
right?
When she fucking was beating her over the head when the boy walked in, and I think that's another reason when he realized she was a tethered.
Yeah, because remember they were in that scene, she kind of started making those noises that the tethered people were making.
But then again, she showed anger in that scene when she like hit her like anger, like it was anger in it.
I mean, cause that's the only. Anger is the only side that any of the other tethered people who emerged from underground ever showed.
That's what I'm saying. Right. And then another scene in that movie that I don't fucking know why it's there. You know the scene when they going outside and they about to start driving, and the girl is in the front seat and she's like, I want to drive. And then the mom is like, let me drive. And they're like, nope, and then Winston Duke in the passenger seat, nope, you're not going to drive. I killed 2 of them. You know that scene?
Yeah, like silly shit.
I don't think it fit. I think the scene should have went a little like, you think you about to drive? Hell no. Get the fuck out this. Like, I think it should have been more of like people them being scared and telling her to get the fuck out the driver's seat and let somebody else. That's what I'm saying. Like
frantic. Like and bruh, they so ham-fistedly gave away that Adelaide was the real tethered. They ham-fistedly gave away that Adelaide was not the real version. Mm-hmm. You don't want me to tell you how?
How?
Bruh, they gave away the biggest plot twist in the fucking movie when they showed her being sad over the little girl being dead in the tree. The tethered little girl.
Yeah.
When they showed her showing concern, I sat there. I didn't even miss that on my fucking first viewing. I said, oh, them niggas switched. They switched around.
And another thing, I looked over that part because immediately when I saw that, I looked back at the scene in Get Out where they hit the deer, and he went in the woods and watched that deer die.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, it's some connection there.
Yeah, that's like basically it was him just recycling a fucking scene.
Basically,
that's what it was. That was the connection, nigga. Oh shit, one less scene to write. Nigga, replace deer with girl. That's how that shit went, son. But like, when you start putting this shit under fucking scrutiny, my nigga, you start realizing, like, of course, we know it's a fucking movie, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking for this movie to make sense in real world terms. Because I'm not one of those type of niggas who go into a movie or a video game. Like, I'm not the type of nigga going into a game mad that fucking Master Chief in Halo health can regenerate or some shit. I don't give a fuck about that. This is also a fucking 7 foot or 8 foot tall man in fucking 2,500 pound armor that can run around like he's on ice skates and jump to higher heights than everybody. I don't give a shit like about that. I just wanted to make fucking sense within the universe of the fucking movie. And they established rules to how these tethered work and immediately fucking broke them. Mm-hmm. The tethered people only followed the rules of how the tethered were explained to work in scenes where that shit was needed for the plot to progress. Because if the tethered work how she explained that they work, there would have been no plot. Because their asses would have just been down there fucking mimicking above ground people the whole time. Mm-hmm. And the explanation was that she's the special one. So she taught the tethered people how to break the tether momentarily, right? Mm-hmm. Except she was not a tethered. So she should have never been being controlled in the first place. So don't give me that shit. She was real. She wasn't a fucking tethered person.
And another thing, how did the fucking fake tethered, she couldn't speak. How did she fucking learn all of this real life stuff that fast?
Well, she didn't really learn it fast. Remember, like in the movie.
Well, she did go down. She did get kidnapped.
She was like 10 or 8 years old. Yeah, so yeah. She lived a full life above ground, but she should have never been able to, because her actions should have been being dictated by the person she kidnapped.
Yeah. This movie fucking sucks.
Yeah,
man.
This movie was balls deep in ball soup. That's what this fucking movie was, man. And this movie, it was this.
You know what I think? Mm-hmm. I think he had this shit right, and he was writing it up real good. And I think he tried to rush it to give the fans what they wanted and to make this movie, right?
Right.
And when he fucking put it out, he was like, "Oh shit, that don't really go together."
Bruh,
oh damn, that don't go. And I think once he did that, he seen what the fans did with Get Out, so he was like, "Shit, just let the fans do it. Leave it up to them to think."
But the thing about Get Out was when the fans was doing it, they was finding that because the shit was in the film. Mm-hmm. Fans of this shit was trying to find shit that didn't get. They was adding shit to the script. People wasn't the dissecting what was in the movie. They was adding more context that the movie didn't present to try to make the fucking movie make sense. That's the big difference. That's the big ass difference, man. Nigga, I think about this fucking movie is that he came up with a idea for a movie, which I don't think was a bad idea for a movie. And you know what? You want me to tell you what? I'm no movie writer, my nigga, but you want me to tell you what would have solved all this shit? Because it would have required no rules or no fucking explanations, right?
Boy.
What would have solved all this is for him to just do what we said we thought it was and make this shit all supernatural.
Exactly.
If this shit would have been supernatural, all the fucking logic that you tried to pack into how the tethered worked, then the logic broke over, the movie broke the logic over its own knee as you watched. The shit would have been supernatural. Guess what? There needs to be no logic because there's no logical fucking explanations to supernatural shit. That's why it's called supernatural. Above naturality or above nature.
Not to mention, they fucking basically centered this movie around a fucking person who had no real fucking role in the movie.
Who that?
The green jacket guy.
Now they centered the trailer around him. He was somewhat in there. He was the dead homeless man at the beginning.
He was the nigga holding up the sign.
Yeah, he was the Jeremiah.
But why the fuck show him so much if you're not about to say, oh, this nigga's the leader of everything. This nigga went and bought all the red suits.
Yeah,
oh, this nigga snuck out to get the fucking scissors.
Like, you know, because they didn't want you to know that fucking they didn't want they was trying to mask the plot twist of the Adelaide Red plot twist. You know that's the reason why behind that. But like, my nigga, fuck it. The movie stunk. Like I wanted something from this movie that it didn't have, right? And I think a lot of people who liked it. Now I'm not saying if you liked it you were wrong. I ain't saying that you shouldn't like the movie. I'm saying a lot of people who tried to justify the bullshit in it just wanted something from the movie that it didn't have. I'm just the type of person that ain't gonna try to justify the bullshit in the movie, right? If I see that it's bullshit and once I realize that it's bullshit, I'm gonna just call it bullshit because that's what most of it was. Like, upon scrutiny, if I can do that shit to the Avengers, my nigga, upon scrutiny, the time travel in the Avengers, the time travel rules that they set up made no sense because they fucking broke them in the movie. The tethered rules in this movie that they set up made no sense because they broke them. They fucking broke them. Is this supposed to be some grand fucking theory, a statement that we, as black people, are tethered because we try to mimic what the people that we see above us are doing? Is that what it's supposed to be? I don't know. I just came up with that theory right now, and therein lies the problem with this movie. I'm trying to add context to the movie that the movie itself didn't have. Shit, after I saw that shit in the theater, the first thing I thought was like, shit, do I need to stay until after the credits? And then I said, oh shit, this ain't a Marvel movie. I'm fucking off. This is all. I'm out.
So, and then another question.
Right.
And this is my final fucking question.
Yeah.
Everybody has fucking joined hands across America.
Uh-huh.
What now?
That's what I was thinking.
Are you motherfuckers just gonna stand there until fucking like what the fuck, dude? You stood there, okay? Are you gonna move now?
Nigga,
is it any more fucking like?
Nigga, that's what I was thinking,
movie,
bro.
What the fuck is about to happen? Are you? I just can't bring myself to fucking understand what the fuck he was thinking.
Nigga, I was thinking, what now? That's why I was thinking, do I need to watch some after credit fucking scene, bro?
Like, do niggas just live their life around these red suit motherfuckers? joining hands? Like, do you just live your life after that
in the
normally?
red suit, people kill every fucking of their counterpart.
No, they couldn't have, because you remember at the last scene where they was doing the Hands Across America, it was like fucking helicopters flying around them, and the shit was on the news and stuff still.
You see, and the more you talk about this movie, the more you find shit makes no sense about it. Not make no sense logically. That makes no sense in regards to the rules that the movie set up, and it makes no sense to the in regards to the logic that the movie set up for itself.
So exactly how many people did they fucking kill? Like,
I don't know, man. This movie can eat a fat one. That's my new fucking saying that I've been saying about shit that I don't like for the past 2 weeks. Eat a fucking fat one. That's what they can do. Anyway, that's all I got to say about this movie. Today, yo, pull the Beats pill out. That's what we gonna do. Turn that shit up. And today, we got just one independent artist making this. This is the third song we reviewed by him, right? We reviewed the Tarzan shit.
mm-hmm.
And then we reviewed the Over 9,000. Nigga, I love Dragon Ball Z. It was a must that shit was going to get reviewed. And we going to play, we going to keep our little, our current formula up of playing a snippet. That's me dropping the remote to my TV. That's what I just did.
You ready?
Well, let's get the title. Let's get the artist and the track first.
King Lugo.
Yep.
Beast.
Yep. Let's go.
Where do you come from?
I like shit.
Another galaxy.
Different animal, but same beast. Different beat, but I still feast. The beat cold, I bring the heat. Beast mode when I'm in the street. Beast mode when I'm in the street. John Cena niggas can't see me. ET niggas wanna be me. Say they love me, but they hate to see me. Different animal, but same beast. Different beat, but I still feast. Beat cold, I bring the heat. Beast mode when I'm in the street. Beast
let's
mode
cut
when
it.
I'm in the street. John Cena niggas can't see me.
All right. Well, I'm already go ahead on and say a lot of shit that I like about all of the tracks we done reviewed about him. I mean, by him. All the tracks we done reviewed by him always have a reference to some shit that I liked as a kid.
Yeah, I think that's what I was gonna say. My favorite shit is how he like references cartoons and shit in the music.
Yeah. My nigga, in this one he referenced Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Ash Ketchum on your trainer. Like, I wasn't that big of a fan of Pokemon when I was growing up, but I just appreciate the fucking references, bro.
Yeah.
And then I gotta give props. I gotta give fucking props to something that I always love in fucking rap songs, nigga, and that's multi-bar rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all fine and dandy for you to be able to rhyme 2 words together and then skip to the next rhyme scheme. Then skip to the nigga. The whole first verse on this shit had 1 rhyme scheme. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
The whole first verse on this track had 1. He rhymed. I didn't even count the bars. At least 16. He had at least a 1 bar rhyme. And then on the second verse, it had 2 rhyme schemes.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, I fucking love when somebody can put the words together like that they can go through the vocabulary and find not only words that rhyme with each other, but words that tie in and make the fucking verse make sense, to make their point come across in in a coherent way, but with one singular rhyme scheme. You understand me? And I want to start giving producers their credit too. This is produced by Show Beats. You understand me? What you think about the track?
I think it was a good ass song. It reminds me of a fighting song. Like I would think about this song in like a fighting scene. Like this is a fighting song. Like it's the beast part. Like I would see this song like in one of those shits where it's like a big ass fighting tournament, right? And they're getting ready to fight, and I just hear somebody getting knocked out to this fucking song.
You know what else? It could be like walk up music for a boxer, my nigga.
Yep. Walk up music for like a boxer. Hell yeah, that actually could fit really well.
We should tweet this shit to Deontay Wilder before he fuck up the next person. He could enter the ring to this.
Yeah.
Been working on myself just because I know I reach perfection. Like, like King Lugo track record is already proven. Like, we already got like, this is his third time making an appearance, my nigga. Like, number one, you don't make an appearance in the independent spotlight if at least some of your shit ain't good. Like, because we always, when we find an artist that we want to talk about in the independent spotlight, we always kind of agree on one song. Like, we agreed on Tarzan immediately. Like, that was the first one we did. Like, we found City Pyramids, the interlude off of his first EP that we reviewed the whole EP with Flapjack. We agreed on that shit immediately. Like, and then we started exploring the fucking other tracks. Okay, it's a reason why this is a third time for one of his tracks to be fucking featured, bro. So, I'm not even gonna say just go listen to Beast. Like, go listen to all of it. Go listen to all of the King Lugo tracks. Beast is gonna be in the description. He also got a freestyle. What's that City Girl song? Is it Act Up?
Act Up.
He had a freestyle to that. I ain't want the City Girls to sue us for us playing a snippet of it in the podcast. So we were gonna really do both, but we tweeted out the Act Up freestyle like a week ago. Real nigga shit, as we tweeted when we sent it out. But that's King Lugo. That's Beast. Y'all heard it. Produced by Show Beats. Y'all heard the snippet. As we always say when we play the snippet, my nigga, you ain't gonna hear the whole song here. We need y'all to have a reason to go listen to the actual artist. So, if you like what you heard, and nigga, I know you did, because if I say it's good and we say it's good, then it must be good, because we don't like shit. Y'all go listen to it. Y'all just heard us hate fucking us for a whole hour. We don't like nothing unless it's top of the top. Anyway, you got anything else to say?
No.
Well, that's that.
Actually, I got a lot to say. First of all,
Right.
this movie could have made a lot of fucking sense if they would have did what I just thought of, right?
Right. Go ahead.
I would have taken a 3-hour Us movie with a few dedicated scenes to how they start making these fucking tethered people.
Right.
And I got the perfect idea on how they could have did it. So, you know, at the carnival, right?
Yeah.
They could have showed, like, sly scenes of people, like, eating, right? And showing how they were getting their DNA. They could have had, like, you could have seen, like, a hobo, like, digging through the trash can, right?
But he was really one of the government agents.
Yeah, but he was really one of the government agents, like, getting half-eaten hot dogs and napkins and shit like that, right?
Right.
Or you could have had, like, they could have showed people, like just normal everyday things, like, that you don't even think about, that you giving your DNA and shit.
Yeah, or they like, how about this? They could have showed people at the beginning of the movie babies being born and doctors that were secretly a part of the government programming.
Yeah.
Taking those babies' DNA giving it to the program, to the people that's running the program, the scientists, so they can start the cloning process of the tethered.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they could have, like, instead of showing that fucking scene, the very beginning part, what was it? The tunnel shit, bro. They could have gave me some actual footage, and they could have broke this out at the very beginning. Like, they could have made it to where you like, where the fuck is this even coming from?
Right.
Like, they could have, like, showed them just fucking taking anything out the garbage can. And, like, they should have made it real subtle, though. Like, real subtle.
Like,
and then I would want to see how it failed. Like,
look.
You can't just tell me it failed and then don't say anything else afterwards. Like, I want to see how it failed. Like, did the shit, like, how did it malfunction? Or, like,
it's like, cause let's look into it, right? The tethered people are clones, right?
They're clones.
So when the first generation of clones came around, unless they just straight up cloned all babies, they couldn't have cloned grown people, because how would they have fucking made the people be the same age unless they got some type of accelerated aging test tube that can grow a full grown person in a matter of months? You know what I'm saying? And here go my other big plot hole with the movie that I just thought about, right? Who is to say just because the parents are clone? Adelaide said that when she fucking or Red said that when Adelaide, aka real Adelaide, said when fake Adelaide found love with her prince or whatever, they had children, right? But yet the other Adelaide that was underground, aka Red, was forced to have children with his tethered.
Yeah.
My nigga, who's to say just because Red is a clone, or just because, even though Red ain't even a fucking clone, she's the real one. Who's to say because they're tethered to each other, they're gonna have the exact same children? My nigga, that just because they tethered to each other don't mean they gonna have the exact same children. Nigga, is Winston Duke's fucking semen tethered too? Was he shooting out the exact same fucking little tadpoles that he was gonna have the exact same children? What if when they could have got pregnant at the same time, but what if when they got pregnant, what if underground Adelaide, Red, aka the real Adelaide, had two girls?
Yeah, like
what if she didn't even
have the same exact children?
Who's to say that just because they were tethered to each other, they was gonna produce the same exact children, because the children were not cloned. They were born after the fucking tethering experiment was abandoned. So they wasn't in a scientifically controlled environment to make sure they came out the exact way. They wouldn't have even been able to there's no way for you to naturally conceive them, because they would have just had to be, the way them tethered children would have been born as the exact same children that somebody would have had to steal the DNA and test tube them motherfuckers.
Yeah. The
same way the original tethered people were born.
Is it some fucking deleted scenes that I haven't seen from this movie or something?
Bruh, the movie is fucking nonsense. That's what it is. It's fucking nonsense. It's so much nonsense that the shit made us have to go back after we finished the podcast and start back talking.
Fuck this movie.
You got any more shit? Because I don't want to stop recording again and then have to come back.
Honestly, I don't even give a fuck about this movie enough to say anything else about it. I'm done. You done?
I think I'm done this time, man.
You sure?
Yep.